Imagine a kid maybe in their teens, preteen, and trying to sit them down and tell them with a straight face that the Chicago Bulls were once the gold standard franchise in the NBA, arguably in all of North American professional sports. Now, you could tell that story with a straight face because it was once true. Oh, the glorious 90s. How far removed we are from the Chicago Bulls being the hottest, most interesting, entertaining, best, popular act in all of sports. But this was once true. The Chicago Bulls were once the gold standard dynasty of dynasties. They won 6 championships in an 8-year stretch. And as life has gone along now, here we sit in late 2023, and this organization is a dumpster fire. Imagine trying to tell a young kid that's watching the Bulls now that puddle of mediocre piss that plays 41 games a year in the United Center and the other 41 they make the rest of America suffer through. That the Bulls were once the preeminent franchise in the NBA in North American professional sports. Can you fucking imagine having to tell that story? They look at you and say, what the fuck happened? Indeed, what the fuck happened? I'll tell you what the fuck happened. The Chicago Bulls are a stupid-ass organization. And you can look no further than this 2023-2024 season, their roster, and everything about it, and see just how stupid the Bulls are. Could you even imagine watching this roster, this coaching staff, this team over the past 2 seasons and saying, hey, you know what will really make sense? Let's run this shit back again. You add in a Torrey Craig, you add in a Javon Carter, and that's going to make all the difference in the fucking world. Predictably, it didn't do shit. And you might say, well, this is preemptive, isn't it? You're only 5 games into the season, and the Bulls are only 2-3. And yeah, they're an epic choke job by the Raptors away from being 1-4. Their record is an indication of what they continue to be, which is content with mediocrity. Fuck everything about this goddamn team. From the owner who absolutely refuses to go into the luxury tax because, God forbid, in a major market, Jerry Reinsdorf and ownership would have anything other than a mid-market mindset, just like the fucking White Sox for all these years. Here are the fucking Bulls sitting there and playing mid-market, small-market ball. Then you've got the dumb fucking front office, and where do you even begin with them? Not just the hiring of Billy Donovan, which transparently I didn't think was the worst decision at the time. Clearly I was wrong there. It is okay to make mistakes. What's not okay is deny them or pretend you didn't make them. I was fucking wrong. This guy doesn't know what the fuck he's doing, as is evidenced by this team and the way they play. They hired Billy Donovan, and then after 1 season of the team having like a mediocre result, they said, by God, we're going to give him an extension. Who the fuck does that? Give somebody an extension after you've went all in because you made it to the first round of the playoffs? What fucking stupid idiots do that? Well, Arturo Karnisovas and Mark Eversley, of course. Acme. And let's be completely fucking honest here. What is so goddamn fundamentally different between Garpax and Acme? At least at one point, Paxson had a damn roster that was viewed as a contender. made the Eastern Conference Finals. That shit's never happening under this administration, under this leadership. Like, let me count the ways. They gave up multiple first-round picks to trade for Nikola Vucevic. Then bring him in and don't run the offense through him. So immediately from Jump Street have devalued the trade that they made. Devalued the asset that they acquired. What the fuck good does it have to have Nikola Vucevic if you're not going to consistently run the offense through him in the post? What fucking sense does that make? It makes none. And yet they persist with this shit now for 3+ fucking years. And that's the big thing about this goddamn roster. The coaching staff, Billy Donovan in particular. So many things about this team is just so goddamn stupid. Vucevic is a really good, in theory, at least allegedly, I was told, a really good post presence offensively. So let's have him stand out at the three-point line and jack up a bunch of bullshit. Zach LaVine. I have my objections to him. Paying him fucking max money was dumb, continues to prove to be dumb, and it's not even just a reflection of Zach LaVine, more of the situation and the circumstance that the Bulls find themselves in. They're not going any fucking where, so why would you give the max to a guy like that? Doesn't make any goddamn sense. But nonetheless, if you're going to give him the max, you'll constantly hear Stacey King, Adam Amin during the games talking about how he's one of the best catch and shoot guys in the NBA. And it's true. And it's astounding how idiotic Billy Donovan is and how rare they actually run like pick and roll, catch and shoot opportunities for Zach LaVine. Feel like I'm watching Bears football, but instead I'm watching Bulls basketball, because you take a guy, you look at his talents and what he does best and say, I'm going to do the fucking opposite, and then wonder why the fuck it doesn't work. Like, you bring in DeMar DeRozan and, you know, on the surface, it feels like, hey, that was actually a pretty good acquisition. Except for the fact that the Bulls aren't going anywhere with him, haven't really gone anywhere with him, meanwhile gave up a future first-round pick for him, and it's not going to fucking pan out. Like, what the fuck are you doing? You know, I could sit there and say the Bulls had bad luck in terms of the year that they had the 4th pick, because it was 2020 and not 2021, and they ended up with Patrick Williams instead of Scotty Barnes. But isn't it striking just how much alpha you see in Scotty Barnes and how much you don't see in Patrick Williams? It is year fucking 4. And you still have to have Stacey King and Adam Amin talking about, well, he's got to play confident. He's got to be confident. If you got to sit there and constantly try to manufacture some dog in him, he ain't a dog. He's a bitch at this point, and his bitch ass needs to be on the fucking bench. Not only has he not shown any progression here in season 4, he has shown fucking regression. It is astounding to me that the Bulls took this guy in the top 4 to begin with. It is astounding to me that they took him in the top 4 and put him in bad situations. It's astounding to me that after 3 years of watching him, they thought he was still a competent starting power forward in the NBA. It is astounding to me that they once again devalued their own goddamn asset instead of trading him off when the fuck they should have, so he did have a chance to go somewhere where they knew what the fuck they were doing and they had a chance to actually develop him. They sit there and let him rot because he plays with a bunch of ball vacuums and LaVine, DeRozan, and Vucevic. Who the fuck does this? Now you could say, hey, you know, Lonzo Ball's not there. Well, that was another stupid thing too. Like, it's a risk, right? Lonzo Ball, when he plays, is outstanding, but even I talked about it at the time, like, the overall money wasn't horrendous, but it's incredibly risky because you were basically paying the guy to play 45 to 50 games a year based off of his history, and surprise, surprise, he hadn't even come close to that, and we're staring down the barrel of another season he doesn't play at all. Speaking of point guards, fucking Kobe White. this administration, this front office, the coaching staff, had years to see Coby White up close and personal, and somehow decided going into this season that they just had to re-sign him for a few years, and they just had to roll with him as the team's starting fucking point guard. Meanwhile, he's shooting barely over 30% from the field, which isn't just him missing a bunch of bad threes. He's missing a bunch of twos and a bunch of easy ones as well. Averaging 4 assists a game. Gee, imagine that. The guy that's not a great facilitator isn't doing a great job of facilitating. Everything about this team is fucking stupid. When you watch them offensively, everybody just plays iso ball and stands out at the three-point line. Nobody hits the offensive glass. Nobody cuts. Nobody moves. It's a bunch of stationary, losing-ass, boring-ass basketball. Defensively, they still can't figure out the rotations. They still can't figure out how to play team defense, how to help each other. It's like every fucking game you see several instances where these guys fuck up their rotations. Oh, Vucevic put up a double-double. Yeah, that's great until you realize how many big rebounds he doesn't get. It's amazing when you watch a Vucevic, he'll get 20 rebounds and how many times he will get out-rebounded. I'm just saying. It's also a lot easier to get rebounds in today's NBA between 20 to 30 years ago because of the number of shots being jacked up and the number of bricks being thrown up. Just saying. This team doesn't hit the fucking glass. They don't run consistently enough. These dumb fucks think that Coby White and Patrick Williams should be starters over guys like Alex Caruso and Torrey Craig. Like, giving those two more minutes than Torrey Craig and fucking Alex Caruso, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like, that's monumental levels of stupid. So you have a stupid front office that hires a stupid head coach that builds a stupid roster that plays stupid on the offensive end, plays stupid on the defensive end. Fuck around and find out you get stupid results. Wasting everybody's damn ass time instead of doing like they should have done when the new regime came in and totally blew it up. These dumb fucks went in with a mid-ass roster. They went all in and then doubled down on a mid-ass fucking roster. Gave up 2 first-round picks for Vucevic. And if the Bulls aren't careful, that 2025 first-round pick will convey to the Spurs as part of the DeRozan deal. And by that time, he might not even be with the fucking team anymore. The fuck is wrong with them? It's just that realization that the Bulls don't suck. They aren't championship contenders. It's the worst realization of all, is they are mediocre. Like, even I look at the Bears right now, they just suck. It is better to suck than be middle of the road. Because eventually, if you get it right, you could go from suck to special in a hurry. When you're mediocre, you have a fucking way of staying in that abyss of mediocrity that is called Reinsdorfism. And that's exactly where the Bulls are at now, with no easy path forward, no easy path out of this shit. We got 77 more fucking games of this shit this year. And we're going to be trying to pump them up and hype them up. They might make the play-in game. They might not at this point. But even if they do, who gives a shit? The Chicago Bulls are fucking stupid and I'm tired of it.